Hey, what's up you guys? It's your girl Vanity and it's time to look in the mirror. For today's video, we're going to do some more witchcraft and spirituality stuff. So I thought, because I'm a book nerd myself, why not do a video on my top 3 witchy book recommendations for all practitioners, beginner, intermediate, advanced, etc. It's basically my top 3 faves right now that I feel like any witch can use. I wanted to do some more witchy stuff because that is kind of what my channel is mainly about. It's just witchy stuff, you know, my life, and, you know, some other stuff here and there. But witchcraft is kind of a big thing in my life right now. You know, I take breaks, you know, but who doesn't? So I just thought that I want to do a witchy book recommendation. Books are really a beginner witches, intermediate, advanced, any type of witch. It is like books are your best friend, because even though you don't, like everyone says, you don't need a lot of materials, you don't need this, you don't need that. That's true. But what you do need is correct information, and what you do need is references and guides to go off of. So I feel like a good thing for beginner witches, before you hop right into buying the candles, the incense, and all of that, because that's what type of witch I was. I was like, oh, I want this stuff. No, what you need is the books, okay? I'm a bit of a book nerd myself, a book hoarder. I have a bookshelf in my room. I have a bunch of books, some that I don't read, but I have a bunch of witchy books on my shelf at the moment. So I just wanted to, you know, recommend my 3 that I feel like any witch at any level can use. Okay, so, but yeah, books are definitely like a witch's best friend. They will give you information, but definitely fact check anything you read, anything you hear, everything. Fact check everything, because misinformation goes around so fast, and like people don't even mean to spread it, misinformation. It just happens. But I just feel like books are like a more reliable source, and they are a good place to start if you don't know what to research, what to do, if you're at like a impasse with your path. Like, if you don't know what to do, read a good book. Okay, so the first one is a book that I have completed, and one of my personal favorites, not just as a recommendation, just as a book for witches in general, is this one. It is called The Little Book of Witchcraft, and it is by, ooh, who's it by? Oh my god, who's it by? Oh my god, I look so dumb right now. I don't know who the book's by. I think it's by, it's by Anna Martin. Sorry, it's not on the front of the book. It is in the inside. But this is The Little Book of Witchcraft by Anna Martin. I actually got this book on Amazon, but I have seen it at like Browse About Books and a lot of bookstores, and I've seen it at Christiana Mall. So, you know, it's a book that you can kind of find anywhere, but I got it for like, I don't know how much it was. It was like $13. It's not a lot. But yeah, so The Little Book of Witchcraft is basically a book. It's geared towards white witches, but I don't really like to use the term white magic, black magic, gray magic, because I feel like those have a lot of negative connotations. But it is for people that practice less baneful magic, more light magic, like light workers, healers, all of that kind of stuff. So what's in the book is because I finished this book a while ago, it's basically, it is geared towards white witchcraft, but I feel like any witch can learn from it. It talks about some histories of witchcraft. It talks about symbols, signs. It talks about magical day and times. It talks about practical magic. It talks about some spells, rituals. It talks about love spells, mostly self-love, not actual like red magic is what people use, call love spells. You know, those that are geared towards other people, but these are self-love spells. Happiness spells, good fortune, employment, spell casting for the modern witch, and it just like goes through. Let's see if I can find some like symbols and stuff. But yeah, I really like that it goes over the history of witchcraft and some, you know, practical spells. I think it goes over, yeah, it goes over wands. You can see it goes over a lot of stuff, a lot of good like beginner stuff, like woods that you can use for wands. It goes over some herbs, and it also goes over crystals, as you can see, jade, moonstone, hematite, stones. You know, it just goes over a lot of stuff. It is very detailed. Even though it is a very small book, there's a lot of information here, especially for beginner witches or witches that really just want an all-around book. This book does exactly that. It talks about crystals, herbs, spells, you name it. I don't know why my camera cut out, but it doesn't really go over any like baneful magic, but I think I rather like have a book that goes over a bunch of stuff, and because it is a cheap book, and not have to spend a lot of money at the time. And if I feel like I want a more specialized book that I want to spend more money on, because I have a very limited budget for like witchcraft and stuff. So I try to get some all around books at the start. And once you get some more money, get some more time, some more, leeway with what you can and can't buy, then you go for the specialized stuff. But I definitely recommend this, especially for beginner, intermediate, advanced witches that want an all-around book, and people who want books about white magic and about some self-love spells, and just like some spells that you can use for you to focus on you. Because I feel like witchcraft, people kind of get into witchcraft, like a lot of people get into it because they want to get back at someone, they want to do a love spell, and like I'm not bashing people who do baneful magic or who even do love spells. I don't care what you do, but I think witchcraft should ultimately be for the betterment of yourself and not for manipulation over other people. I'm not going to bash other people, but I'm just saying that I started the craft for myself, and I feel like witchcraft is a very personal thing that everyone should kind of focus on themselves at the beginning, and I think this book definitely focuses on that. Okay, we're gonna move on to my next book. This is one that I'm currently reading because I started reading it last year and I never finished it. So, but this is The Little Bit of Auras by Cassandra Eason. This is a part of the Little Bit collection, and it's an introduction to energy fields. And Cassandra Eason has done a lot of witchcraft books, and I like her as an author, and she does a lot of books in the Little Bit series. This book was $9. I got this at Browse About Books. I live in Delaware, so one of our not where I live, but one of our big bookstores is called Browse About, and they had the entire Little Bit collection. I wish I could have gotten them all. I got about 8 Little Bit books. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money, but I got it for Christmas, so. But yeah, and this is a user-friendly introduction to understanding auras. And basically what the book is about, as you can see, is auras. And anyone who's interested in spirituality, witchcraft, any sort of thing like that, I think this is a perfect book for you. It goes over the color of the auras. It explores the mood aura, the personality aura. It explores how to cleanse and heal and energize your aura, and how to strengthen and maintain aura health. It even talks about auras in your house and your workplace, the differences, and the auras of pets. And it also talks about protecting your auras, which I think is a very useful tool. And if anyone wants to start reading auras and stuff and just want to understand themselves and people around them a little more, I think this book does exactly that. It has some illustrations. Let me see if I can find one. It's hard to I didn't really plan out this video very well. It's okay. But yeah, it goes into, and it does some color coding, because for me, someone who color codes everything, because it just helps me focus in the long run. I really like that it color codes stuff in this book, and I love that about it. Like when it's talking about the red auras, the text, the titles are red. When it's talking about the blue, titles are blue, stuff like that. I think this book is great for anyone, any kind of practitioner, any level, because I feel like reading auras is a useful skill. I'm not very good at it. That's why I got the book. And I haven't finished the book yet, but I am about 3 chapters away from being done, and I think it's a wonderful book. It's very it's beginner friendly, but it also will help any sort of practitioner ever. Okay, so I think this is a great book to use for any witch of any kind, and I just think it's a useful skill to learn, reading auras, even if you're Wiccan and you're not into witchcraft, vice versa, or if you're just into spirituality and you're not actually you don't label yourself as a witch or a practitioner or anything. I think this is a great book to have, anyone, any age, because I think reading auras is a very useful skill for anyone. Okay, so we're going into our last book, and this one I actually haven't read yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about, and it is called Basic Witches. Isn't the aesthetic so nice? A lot of the books in this kind of style have this very nice aesthetic, and I just love aesthetic. I'm sorry, but that's not why you should buy a book, but I bought it because I heard a lot of good things about it, and a lot of good things. It's by Jaya. like, somebody correct me if I'm saying these wrong, J.S. Saxena and Jess Zimmerman. I definitely messed that up, but it's okay. But yeah, that's who the book's by. And basically this is also another all-around book. It talks about self-initiation and introduction into basic witchery, glamour magic. It talks about healing magic, the power to care for others. So that's good for some people who want to influence the people around them's lives to make them a little bit better. It talks about enchantment, the power to make choices with love and sex, and banishment. And it talks about divination. It doesn't really go into baneful magic, but none of these books do. So just want to, if you're looking for that, this is not the video for you. I might do a follow-up video with some books that are more geared towards baneful magic, depending on what you guys like. But I really like this book because it is another all-around book, and it just talks about a lot of good stuff. And it also talks about, there's some like makeup recipes in here, like there's like loose bronzer, lip balm, natural black mascara, and the spells, they like actually say what you need. And then there's like some nail art. So there's a lot of good glamour magic for any glamour witches, or for anyone that's looking into glamour magic. There's some definitely there's some good spells. There's one that's ditch envy, because envy is something that, you know, we all have, and there's some spells to do that. There's some spells to attract people into your life. There is a lot of good information, and it's a very, as you can see, it talks about witch history. It is a very detailed book, and it's definitely worth your money. This is $16, and I got it I got it also at Browse-A-Belle, but I also have seen it on Amazon. I've seen it, like, I don't know if I've seen it at Walmart, but I've seen it in a lot of bookstores and a lot of like spirituality stores, like in my local metaphysical shop. But it was a little bit pricier there, so I think I got a good deal for the 16 because I've seen it for like 25. But I know this book is actually a lot cheaper. So if you see it in stores, definitely look it up online first to make sure that you can get it for a cheaper price, because all of these books are very cheap, and that's why I got them. So yeah, that's all 3 of the books. And these are just some books that I like, that I think any practitioner of any level can use, especially of beginners. If you do not know what to do in your craft and you want something to do, buy a book and read it, okay? Well, I hope you guys will like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more witchy videos. And this has been Vanity. The mirror has been closed.